What's up, guys? Josh with Navigate the Wild. It's still turkey season down here in Florida, but I'm not seeing any birds. So we came out today to fill a feeder, and while filling the feeder, I found a tree that I want to prep for saddle hunting in September. So follow me and I'll show you what we're going to do. I started saddle hunting last year. I went with the Skeletor sticks from Tethrd. All my gear is Tethrd. The Predator Platform XL. The Skeletor sticks have worked great. Let me say this first. I'll never go back to sitting just in a tree stand. When we get up to this tree, you'll see how thin it is and how it just, saddle hunting opens up a world of possibilities for climbing in trees in a safe manner that you never got or never able to get with climbing in a tree climber. This thing has allowed me to be mobile in multiple states, multiple areas, big trees, small trees, in between trees, and I absolutely love it. That being said, there are a few flaws to the Tethrd system that I feel are important to address. Some of the stuff they've addressed, like this is an entry-level stick in my opinion. It's compact, it's great, I love it, but it's aluminum, so it makes noise, and you could put stealth strips on it and all that stuff. Latitude Outdoors just brought out a stick set that's all carbon fiber. The one stick from Tethrd is fantastic, and that's a carbon fiber stick, lighter, quieter, and does better in the cold, which in Florida, I'm not too worried about because it's never cold. As you can see here on our tract of land, they just cut what's called a fire break. And so they cut all this pine when it matures. And so to protect the pine and try to help with fires, they cut these fire breaks. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna utilize this fire break as tilled soil. And I'm going to attempt a plot of clover in this area. We're gonna come up to a tree that I'm gonna bow hunt this September. I got multiple deer crossing this path. And so I'll come in north of here and I'll slip into this tree and I will hunt this path. It's just a perfect spot. So when we get up to the tree, you'll see why. I'll point some things out. Tethrd just recently released a new system. I think it was at the ATA show, I think, in Vegas, where they released a new system that I don't think they are selling yet, but it looks awesome. I'm using the Phantom saddle and it's great. Their new saddle looks even better. One thing that I do love about them is they listen to their testers and all that stuff, and they try to fix and maximize whatever they feel is flawed in their systems, which I love. Timber Ninja just came out with a really nice saddle system as well, and it looks really cool. One of the things that they fixed, I'm gonna put this over near the tree. One of the things they fixed was the pouch system on the side. So they made them solid, so you can open and close them with one hand with a zipper. This is floppy, you can tell, and I've got my stuff pretty much maxed out here. It's drawstring, but I find myself having to reach over and open it and close it, mainly close it. Opening it's pretty easy. Again, this is a great system. I don't want to portray like I'm knocking it or anything like that, but it can be better. And I think that's what they're doing with their newer versions of saddles. If you buy a Tethrd saddle, it comes with their own Cobra buckle, it just says Tethrd on it. The leaders in this industry is Austrian Alpine, and a lot of the other competitors to Tethrd just have integrated Austrian Alpine as the leading Cobra buckle in the industry. The other thing that I made known to Tethrd last year, I don't know if they listened or not, but mine failed under load last year. Thankfully, I was just starting to get up there and it was completely locked in, but these belt buckles are designed to have a safety system built in. So that way, if one of the buttons gets compressed, the belt buckle will not open. If you are not pushing the belt buckle together and then pushing both tabs, it should not open. The only way this belt buckle is supposed to open is if you push it together, engage both tabs, and then pull it apart. Austrian Alpine has done an awesome job with that. So what I did was I took my Tethrd belt buckle off my saddle and I replaced it with a tactical belt and a Austrian Alpine Cobra buckle. Other than that, super happy, super pleased. This is the tree that I want to climb. It's got some little limbs on it, stuff like that, some vines. So I'm going to get up here on my sticks And on my platform, I'm gonna trim away some of these branches on the tree and hopefully be able to get up over enough to get over these existing smaller trees that are bent over. I wanna keep this stuff concealing me as best as possible. That way I kind of blend in 3D. I can make my shot, but I have a little more room. Last year, opening day, I shot a deer with my bow. It wound up coming in to 12 yards, and I was able to kind of wedge up between these two baby oaks. Perfect concealment. That is just an awesome thing, is that you just blend in with the trees. You're not sticking out. You're not being picked off by subtle movements or anything like that, because you're able to kind of blend in between my First Light gear, my tethered system, and being able to be on trees that are this small, virtually undetectable. I mean, the wind will always bust you, but this area is going to be good for wind. We're just going to put my sticks on. I'm going to show you how that works and show you how I've got my system rigged up as well. I keep two things on my pack. I forgot the name of this brand handsaw. It's a foldable. You can see I've just worn this thing out, so I don't remember what's kind, but it's very well known. You could find guys on YouTube that use it all the time. I use this to trim branches just like you're watching me do on trees like this when I go up. The other thing that I carry in my pouch is just a pair of snips. I love these things. These are just great. I've repurposed them from home, stole them from my wife in her gardening, but these are great because what I can do is get up into a tree, get settled, and let's say I have a little branch in the way and I can't reach it, I'll reach out with my saw and pull it towards me. And when I pull it towards me, I'll just snip the top off. So you still can kind of customize how you want to blend in. Right now, what we're gonna do is just gonna clean this up. I'm gonna get some of this stuff off. Down here in Florida, we have a ton of kudzu vine and all these other different types of vines. So we're just gonna be cautious here. Make sure it's not poison oak, which is very common. Just gonna knock some of this stuff away from the tree as I go up. This thing is going to be perfect. Most companies, when you get your platform, give you like a ratchet strap type of tie to connect this to the tree. This is a hang-free. Those guys are out of Orlando, Florida. I'm a Florida boy. I want to support those guys. So this is Allplux. I got this as my tie now. It cuts down on weight. It's not another thing clanging. I took some paracord and some shrink wrap, nothing pretty, but that hangs off the back of my system. And I've got this S connector. Pretty large one, so I don't have to search for it in the dark, but I just take this and I hook it, boom. The other thing, super important. Now, the new Tethrd system, the new saddle, comes with a yoke. It takes the weight off your hips, takes the weight off your belt, everything hanging on your hips. If you're gonna run an earlier generation saddle like the Phantom, get the suspenders. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a big deal. It absolutely is. These Tethrd suspenders are awesome. I love them. They always work. They take just enough pressure off of me. Once I'm in the tree and all my gear's off of me, it's not that big of a deal. But when I have a few steps on and I have my saddle on, it gets heavy. We're gonna put our first step up on the tree. And like I said, we're gonna just work our way up here, see how high we can get. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm using an aider. Maybe this year I'll order one from Hang Free, but we're going to get our first few steps on. So Tethrd Skeletor steps come with the fold out steps. I like that, the Allplux around. So you come up to the tree, you put your first step on. If I get to a tree that I can't reach around, I'm small, I'm 5'4". What I'll do is I'll actually take my step and I'll reach it around and be able to get on a bigger tree just to be able to get my Allplux around. It's no big deal. This one's thin, so I can just reach around like this and get it. That seems like a good first step. So kind of bite it into the tree, go around and around, and then we start our hook system. And then what I do is I go around and then I tuck it behind. Even if I was in a tree stand, I'd be taking my time. So the extra few steps to pay attention to detail, not a big deal for me at all. I'll take this extra and I loop it through the back. Just like that. Bingo. Done. Now it's out of my way. Top ones come out, bottom ones come out, but these bottom ones I pull away and I anchor in. Okay, now it's biting into the tree. When I get up on that thing, 180 pounds is gonna push that into the tree a little further, and that's gonna be great. I remember getting into trees with my climber. I think my climber was called an Excalibur. It was awesome because you can self-level it while you're in it. It was a great design. I still have it. I use it with a buddy of mine who's a little older that doesn't want to climb. But with these, I can put my stick wherever I want. In a tree stand, you're climbing up and you're having to work around the tree. And in all transparency, I don't think I ever wore a body harness. I know I'm an idiot, but I think most guys don't wear body harnesses in climbers. They are a pain in the butt. They're always heavy, they're clinking, they're clanged. It's just another thing to carry. And I think most guys are like, screw it, I'm just gonna go out there and just wing it and be safe. I've done it a million times. Clay Newcomb just had a guy on the Bear Grease podcast who fell out of a tree, 20 foot, he's paralyzed from the waist down. The safety features and factors of saddle hunting was enough to sell me, because now I don't have to worry about it. I am always attached to the tree. So now I'm gonna put this second step up. I'm not ready to connect to the tree yet. Remember, like I said, this is only my second season. You know, I know guys do it with aiders, guys do it with one sticking. One day I might get to that. They start rappelling down a tree. I'm using 4 and maybe even 5 sometimes. But what I do is I just lift this off of the tree, right? And then I flip it up and I connect it right there. Not bad. I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna run it through my bottom one. I just like all these strings out of my way. Bottom feet come out away from the tree and I pull down. I'll pull those down in a minute. I don't know if you can see this. I run a Genesis 3D printed clip for my steps. They work great. There's other companies that make them out there now too. My next setup, I'll probably just do a different company just to try something new, but it just slips on the cleat just like that. I've got 1 on each side, so I put 2 on the tree. And I come around here, same thing. I'm hands-free. Now my lineman's rope. I am running the Kong duck with the Kong carabiner, locks in place. The ones that Tethrd gives you, they give you really nice carabiners, but they will not work with this. They will, but they won't. They don't slide free like that. They're kind of funky. They're, I guess, a traditional carabiner. And when they get up to this point, they get stuck, so it can't move. So we're gonna go around the tree and I'm gonna lock in. So now I'm good. And I always test this stuff on the ground. I just like to be safe, right? So I just sit back, relax. On my first step up, I usually always have to have a little more slack in the lineman's rope. These types of trees are no problem because I can reach around and hold it with my gorilla strength. But once I get up on my first step, maybe even my second step, I pull it in a little bit. I like to be closer to the tree. If I fall from here, it's gonna suck, but I'm not gonna die, which is great. If I fall from this spot out of a tree climber, I could still really get hurt. I could fall on my head, I could whatever. I'm probably gonna slam into the tree, maybe even into one of these, get a really good gash, really good cut, but I'm not gonna fall to my death. So we're gonna take out just a little bit of line out of the bridge. And this is what I do. I always hold up tight and I'll get my first foot in and up we go. And I'm holding this. Now I take out the slack. I'm feeling good right here. Feet come down, that's good. Now I'm in sneakers too. I don't have a bunch of weight on me, so I can maneuver a little more today, which is nice. This next step, if I was in all my gear, would be problematic. But I'm in sneakers and shorts today, so we're golden. All right, now I'm back on the tree. I feel good. Lift up my butt a little bit here. And the next stick goes on. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm trying to convince all my buddies that bow hunt or rifle hunt. I shot deer out of the saddle this year with a rifle. That's a little high for me. That looks like a stretch as well. But they're all like, I don't know, man. It's all about getting a system. Once you get a system in place, everybody's system looks a little different. You're gonna feel great. It's gonna be so much better. I do this in the dark all the time. Come in with my headlamp, you're much quieter. It's just better, man. It's just all around better. These guys, really knocked it out of the park. All right, we're going up. Here we go. If you're not careful, what'll happen is I don't know if you just caught that, but what'll happen is if you're not careful and you're not taking your time, what happens is this bridge will grab one of these feet and you won't see it, and you'll go to get up and it'll move the stick. So before I make my move, I just like to make sure everything's good. And you should be doing that anyway. If you really want to be safe, you should always be careful when you're moving stuff. Just trimming this tree. This is great. My feet hurt. Okay. I'm gonna saw this branch off. And we're almost to our destination. I'm gonna move that after. I probably should have said timber or something, huh, hon? Now this to me looks like a little bit of a stretch for my leg. Today I could do it. I would not attempt that in my hunting gear. I'm not in my hunting gear today. Oh, this is perfect. I still have a stick. Look at that. That's awesome. We're gonna put it on. Tell you what, I think it's the MVP. It's the backrest. I had a few really long sits this year in Georgia in November. We go up there for the rut and I was sore. And then I was like, I'm an idiot. I've got an MVP. I put the MVP on my back. It's a backrest, or it can go under your legs. It can go high, low on your back, whatever you want. It was awesome. Took all the pressure off of my body. I was able to sit for the rest of the evening. It was great. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing here. Down through the middle. Down through that middle. Let's get it out of my way. There we go. This is where things get a little messy because of these stupid vines. But if you have your little snippy poos, you're good. Later, gator. Okay, so now I'm gonna put my platform on. So just reach back here. This is awesome. What just fell? Something just fell. Oh, so this is just connected with a prusik knot. Boom. It's gonna be one more step up. And I'll show you how I really fasten this thing to the tree really well. Because this is just kind of like the beginning. Make sure everything is good. And then I sit it down like that. So now I'm gonna step up on my platform. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get out of this bridge. I'm going to first hook up my tether, which will completely connect me. It'll connect to my bridge and it will connect me to the tree. So we're gonna go around. And I like to keep this thing eye level, because then my hang your stuff strap, my Huss strap, goes right above that. So this thing's gonna connect in, my bridge. Okay, here we are. The Tethrd is on the tree. I am connected to the tether through my bridge. I am completely connected to the tree. So the lineman's rope goes back in its pouch. That's all I keep in this pouch on the left. There's pockets on the outside that are great. I have 16 feet of rope, boat rope. I don't like the real thin stuff because as I'm picking stuff up or letting it down the tree, it'll burn my hands if I don't have gloves. You can see I'm kind of moving out here, man. This is wild. I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna kick out to the side here and go off of this branch as well. So this platform will be further over here. So I'll stand here. That way I can get a good shot, but man, this feels great. So this is just how we trim a tree in preparation for bow season. This thing's gonna sit untouched till September, and I'll probably miss the rut again just because that's how our zone is set up in Florida. But man, it's gonna be awesome to be out here. This is perfect. How far am I from my feeder? 128 yards from the feeder. Okay, we're coming on down. First light's supposed to be releasing some layers for the heat. I'll be investing in those. Frickin' humidity. Heat just crushing your face all summer. Safely on the ground. Boom.